folks. Welcome back to the show. Let's close out 2025 financially right. Here to help us understand how we can do that and what that means, I welcome Jerry Schlutzwitz, Pacific Financial Planners. You're the owner.
Yes, I am.
Back to the show.
Yeah, thank you, Bree, for having me. Appreciate it.
Always a pleasure. This is going to be our last show of the year.
Yeah, so happy holidays a little early.
Yes, yes. So tell us, as we approach the end of this year, Jerry, what should retirees be focusing on? There's not much time left.
There isn't, but that's why it becomes such an important time. December is the perfect time to, make some huge financial decisions. Look, every year when it's New Year's or the resolutions, they talk about, the 5 F's, right? Fun, faith, family, fitness. The 5th one is finance. But before that clock hits midnight on December 31st, it's really important that you do a few key items. It's really, really important. So it's time to review and to look forward.
Tell us what those 5 are. You've got me on the edge of my seat.
Well, the first thing is you only have until December 31st to take your required minimum distribution. Sometimes people hear RMD. It means your required minimum distributions. If you don't get those out, it's a 25% tax penalty.
Wow.
And there's something new, a little bit of a twist. If you've ever inherited an IRA, other than your spouse, from a parent or a sister, brother, cousin, somebody, those new have to be also taken out before December 31st. There were kind of 2 sets of rules. If someone died post 2020, you had 10 years to take it out and you didn't have to take an RMD. The federal government made a decision over the summer that said, yes, you do. So that's a little new for our listeners. If you have an inherited IRA, make sure you talk to your advisor and get a little RMD taken out of that as well. Some of the other items are charitable gifting. If you're charitably inclined, I say this all the time, and you're 73 or above, and you have to take that required minimum distribution, because that's who it applies to, don't write checks out of your checkbook. Use your RMD to direct that to the charity of choice, because if it goes directly to the charity, it doesn't come to you and doesn't count as taxable income. Right. So it reduces your income. And some people say, well, if I write a check, I get the deduction anyways. But you want to lower your income because it'll lower it for everything else, like your Social Security and any pensions you might get. So that's another thing you could do, is do qualified charitable distributions as well. So, you want to look at your risk. You want to reevaluate how much you spent this year. What was your income? What are your income needs going to be next year? And then you want to make sure that you're withdrawing from the right spots. Those are the list of those things.
Right, and you also have as you just mentioned, the income review, risk assessment, inflation planning.
Yeah, that's cost of living. How much do you spend, and then how much is it going to cost in the future? Look, the tariffs were not as bad as people thought in terms of causing inflation. There was a lot of thought, back in April when these were thrown on there, because they seemed very extreme, which they were, to really cause us to be in a huge recession, and that inflation is going to be high. Inflation is in check. Okay, inflation is in check.
So we've got that stabilized.
Yeah, right now. Now that can change, because we don't know what's coming around the corner.
Right.
But it does seem likely that interest rates will go lower. The Fed meets tomorrow. We think that they're going to lower interest rates by 1/4 point, and there's still a chance they lower interest rates 1 or 2 more times next year. So if that happens, that should help people with spending and costs, keeps costs down because borrowing costs are down. Now, again, most of the people in the community don't borrow a whole lot of money, at least I hope not. They've got their things paid off, but most of the world, borrows money when you're younger to buy a house, buy a car, finance all kinds of things, and businesses the same way. And then gas prices should continue to come down. Maybe not here in California, but across the country they should. We're shutting down some refineries and things like that might adversely affect California as special gas, so to speak. It is special. So, it's really important. The last thing I just want to mention that I missed here is on that before December 31st, and this is huge, is tax loss harvesting. We've had 3 good market years in a row. You want to make sure that before December 31st if you're going to have a long-term capital gain or some ordinary income tax, whether you have a gain or loss in your investment portfolios. And if you have positions in there that you haven't sold yet that can either reduce your big gain Or if you have losses more than $3,000, you can only write off $3,000 against your income taxes. You should maybe sell some of your profits because we've had 3 years in a row. Maybe it's time to take a little risk and money off the table. So that's also something. And if you haven't done that or don't ever do that, get a hold of a financial advisor and have them look at your portfolio and say, hey, look, they could save you thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars in taxes. And that is real money.
It's real money. Yes, I agree. So it seems like there's a lot of things to consider, Jerry. If somebody hasn't kept up to date with the changes and really what their numbers, what their personal balance sheet looks like, they might be like, oh my God, this is too much information. I don't even know where to start.
Yes, that's what people do, Bree, is less than 50% of people use a financial professional to help. Again, not all financial professionals are created equal as well, but it's important to take a look at where your situation is, because it's not just picking the right stock or right mutual fund. It's a matter of saying, how can I organize myself to have the safe income I need and pay less in income taxes? And when you're retired, you know, medical costs kind of near the end of your life can be maybe higher, but year in, year out, the biggest expense you have are income taxes. If you can reduce that legally just through looking at your portfolio and managing it correctly, it really helps. So, you know, it's important that people talk to somebody. I'm available. I'm happy to talk to anybody. Look, Bree, I've been doing this for 40 years. I've got 40 years of a wealth of knowledge. I've helped thousands of people over my career. I'm not doing this really for the money anymore. I can do this just to help people. They don't have to do any business with us, but we can help set them up where they're paying less in taxes, have more income with more safety. And it's really important that people take advantage of that.
It's so important for peace of mind, really. I mean, because if you don't know where your numbers are and you're just sort of guessing, that anxiety can really wreak havoc on your health.
65% of people worry about money, even wealthy people. They worry about money. And it's what they're worried about, Bree, is exactly what you said, the unknown. And why is it unknown? Because they're too afraid to do it themselves or ask somebody. You know, they don't know how to do it themselves probably, and they're afraid to ask somebody.
So then they sort of live in this scattered world, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's working. It's kind of working.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit busy. So.
I think I'll be okay. I think I'll be okay. Well, that I think I'll be okay. Wouldn't it be better to know that you're going to be okay?
Exactly.
And if you're doing it yourself, great, no problem. You can continue to do it yourself, but get a second opinion. If there's so many things, I mean, after 40 years of professionally helping people, there's so many things. I've seen retirement through thousands of retirees' eyes, not the one eyes that you have, the one set of eyes you have.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so it's like,
so you can look at their finances and immediately see the trigger points.
I can tell you, hey, you're doing great, which I do all the time. I go, you've won the game of life. You're doing great. And other people, I say, here's some things you can look at. They can go back to their advisor. They can go back and do it themselves. There is no problem. I'm here to help. That's really it, Bree. Seriously.
So if somebody wanted to connect with you and say, hey, Jerry, I would really like for you to give me an overview, how much time does that take out of somebody's day?
Well, you know, they think there's a lot of preparing, and that's where they kind of freak out and don't want to do it. I just need to see your current statements. You know, you get a Social Security check. Let me show you last year's tax return. You got brokerage statements. Just get the paper statements from the brokerage firm and bring them in. Oh, they're from September? Fine, bring them in from September. You've got an insurance policy, bring in your last year's statement, and I'll take a look at it. That's all they need. In terms of the appointment, I usually allow an hour. Sometimes they go an hour and a half. Wow. And I'll be able to give them suggestions, and there's no obligation.
Love it. And that is how you protect your income.
It's how you protect your lifestyle for the future, because that's why people worry about money. Not the best time, but December's the time to do it. Really
absolutely,
is.
Absolutely. Even as busy as it is, I mean, nothing's more important than having that sound peace of mind with your finances.
Well, the 5 F's, faith, family, fitness, finance, and fun. Got to have a plan for it.
In that order, right? Finances, then fun.
For me, finance is number one. Obviously, health, you know.
No, it all co-mingles.
But health and wealth. I mean, a lot of people just they'll go to the doctor, they'll go to a second opinion, they'll go to a specialist, you know. And when it comes to their money, I don't know. I'd hate to be healthy at 80 and broke. You know?
Oh my goodness. All right. On that note, book a consultation with Jerry Schlutzwitz over at Pacific Financial Planners. Thank you for
Bree.
joining me today.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you being here. Coming up next, we've got ballroom dancing. Stay with us.